Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Women find a man's actions to be sexually appealing. And you know what? And I've talked about this before, right? Women are very much turned on not so much by a man's physical appearance, but his actions. Yeah, they can look at a man and say, oh yeah, he fine, he cute, he's sexy and all of that. But it's his actions that seal the deal, even more so than what words come out of his mouth. Yeah, that can seal the deal, right? Yeah, the mouthpiece is important, but it's the actions that's going along with the mouthpiece, right? And those actions range from just mere body language. From mere body language to how the man walks, how he carries himself, how he moves and everything. Indeed, there was a study done where they had men and women looking at images of people having sex. And they said the men focused on the men's faces. On the women's faces, rather, right? The men focused on the women's faces when they were shown these images, but the women, they focused on the men's actions, how they were actually making love and stuff, right? And I have a link to the study in the description box. Because I know I got some detractors. They think I'm just talking off the top of my head and stuff. So, here's the proof, okay? Here's the evidence, right? And that's just one study. But if you really pay attention to women and how they respond. Yeah. Just looking good is cool, but it's how they looking at the man's movement. Now, that's a deeper reason for that. Remember the nature of masculine and feminine energy. Feminine energy is still. It stays still. It doesn't move. It wants to stay in place. The ultimate feminine energy is like an iceberg that's just sitting there. It's just sitting there. It's not moving. Masculine energy is active. It does stuff. It wants to move around. It's moving around and stuff. It's making stuff happen. It's imposing its will on its environment. It's doing something. That's the key thing. That is the key thing that men have to get. They want to see what you're doing. Even when a woman, like there's a lot of talk about, choosing signals versus cold approach. Okay, let's use the choosing signal thing. The woman is still being still, like staying still, but she's sending a signal out to the man. She wants him to see how he moves towards her, what type of actions he take. Indeed, it could be a situation where he's not picking up on any signal she giving, but she's sitting back watching him do some stuff, watching how he move and everything, right? And I'm actually, I remember I learned that on a job I was on, right? I was doing some stuff, and a woman, she just told me straight up, she was turned on by how I was moving around and how I was doing things, or my actions. See, that word action is a very important thing. Because think about it just not going beyond just the mere primordial energy of masculine and feminine, right? Think about where sex starts. The first act, really, the first act of life, how life even comes into being. It's the sperm meeting the egg. The egg is just sitting back in that uterine wall, just chilling. It ain't moving around in there saying, yeah, let me go out. It ain't going outside of her vagina. No, the sperm has to go in there and do some traveling. The sperm has to that's an active thing. So the sperm has to go up there. That's action. And then as you get up to another, the baby's born, all of that. And then, as they get older and then want to repeat this process of reproduction, it's still the active principle in the man. Indeed, for the people who are more esoteric, what they say, the women are magnetic. They draw into them but the men are electric. It's power. It's power. And it's how a man shows that. That's why I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to use a great example. Male exotic dancing. Male exotic dancing, right? One of the things with male exotic dancing is that not so much that they just muscular and having, whatever, however they look, but the key word, dancing. They're moving. That's the thing. Now, of course, someone might be some type who can get out there and just stand, but that's rare. That's rare. They got to move, is what they do, And if you think about it, right, on a primal level, what's the main thing a woman does? She nurtures a baby. She wants that man's seed, right? She gets that man's seed, but then what's the second thing? She wants that man who can go out, get resources to take care of her and the seed. The ability of a man to do is that energy, That's why I'm going to tell you what. I used the example of male exotic dancing, but I've talked to a lot of women who watch sports. And, being on 2 different college campuses and stuff and, being cool with the ball players and everything. And talking to the women who were checking them out, they'd be like, yeah, they just be going to the games and stuff just to watch them move. And if you look at a big difference between the men who get women and the men who don't, pay attention to how they move, how active they are. Many of the men who are having trouble getting women, they're just sitting around. They ain't doing anything. They ain't taking any action. Indeed, that's why I talk a lot about body game. See, it's not just getting like that physique and everything. It's the action of getting that physique. It's the action of it. In fact, I'm just thinking about a time I remember I was working out in this gym, and this one woman, she came up to me. Because she specifically said, you know what, I like how you work out. She was looking at the movement. And, and it's basically a man has to be willing to take action. He has to be active. And not just in a physical sense, but a mental sense. He can't be passive. He can't be sitting on his ass. He got to be willing to do something, to take action. That's why, and I've said this before, you got too many guys, and I've said this about YouTube. Some guys on YouTube sitting around for hours on a hangout or whatever, live stream, and just talking. Or even some people not even dealing with women, but just talking about with like problems in the community or something. It's like, okay, fine, you talked about it. Now what? What are you going to do something? Women, they look for a man who's going to do something. That's the key thing. And it could be whatever the case is. It could be that man who's going to lay out a body. And I do mean that. Who's going to take action? That's very important. Women are turned on by the activity, okay? Always understand that. If you want to change a lot of stuff, like even if you want to change anything, whether it's to get women or to change your life, you got to take action. Even if you don't give a shit about women, you still got to take action to create the type of life that you want to live. So you got to be active, and that's part of being masculine. The masculine man takes action. He asserts, he's assertive, he's aggressive. So I want y'all to think about that. And like I said, I know some people, they be thinking, Rom just talking off the top of his head. Well, like I said, provided a link on that study. Just about the sexual part and taking action anyway. That's what a man should be doing on anything. So anyway, that's all I got for today. I'll talk to y'all. Peace and blessings.